yung
Both.
both, pareho ho. Kasi dapat yung 39 should have been preventive maintenance. Ang nailagay ho yung pangalan ni Congressman Zamora.
Is this the first time it happened, ma'am?
As far as I know, sir.
O ito lang yung unang beses na nahuli ng COA?
Yan, sa pagkakaalam ko ho, this is the first time.
Offhand, how can a mistake like that occur, ma'am? Sang division, department, bureau ng DBM pine-prepare yung... I'll give an example, ma'am. Kung merong allocation for, in the case of Congressman Zamora, 500,000. Di ba ba? Yun lang naman talaga yung kanya, hindi naman 3 billion eh. Saan dadaan yun at paano may issue yung SARO for the 500,000?
Sa BMBA ho, yung may hawak ng...
Can you...
yung
PMBA means...
Budget and Management Bureau A. Sila ho ang may hawak ng DPWH.
So, gagawa sila ng SARO na nakalagay 500,000 at yung nature ng project. Tapos, yung VILP naman ng DILG, gagawa naman po din kayo ng SARO for that.
For preventive maintenance.
Hindi naman nakalagay yung pangalan ni Congressman Zamora dun sa SARO, di ba?
Hindi ho.
Implementing agency lang po ang nakalagay.
Yes. Just the SARO number, the amount.
So, if 39 was used for Congressman Zamora, saan napunta yung 500,000 niya? Anong SARO number?
Later on ho, nung nakita na dalawa yung SARO na na-issue with one number, nilagyan ho ng A yung para kay Congressman Zamora because there can be no two SAROs with one number.
So in this case, nag-issue kayo ng SAROng parehong number?
Yun nga ho it's really an error.
Hindi ba siya computer generated or something?
At that time, sir, it was still manually prepared.
Now it's no longer manually prepared?
Yes, sir.
So now in sequence at seriatim na talaga yung numbers niyan, hindi na mauulit?
Yes, sir.
Would that be correct?
Yes, sir.
When did it start?
Please,
ma'am. When did that start? When did the computerization or computerized form of issuing SARO started?
...2007, sir.
It started in 2007?
Yes, sir.
Anong year po ba to?
2007 also. Pero yung e-tails kasi yun, sir. It's not the regular.
Now, second question, ma'am. Practice ba ng DBM yun na pag may mali, ine-A na lang, kung dalawa'y mali, bini-B yung isa, kung tatlo yung nag-overlap, sini-C? Because it seemed automatic that you said A.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So it's not the first time that two SAROs with the same number was issued prior to 07. So in the past, pag may dobleng SARO number, ine-A nyo na lang. Pag tatlo,
ABC.
39A, 39A, 39B.
Yes, sir.
Hanggang ilan na ho ba yung pinakamaraming ganun? Based on your experience?
Sir, as far as we know, 2. So nag-A lang ho yung ano.
Wala pang umabot ng B?
Wala pa naman.
Sa kasaysayan ng DBM, wala pang umabot ng B?
As far as we know, sir.
And you've been with the DBM for...
More than 30 years.
You joined government when you were 5 years old, ma'am?
Thank you, sir.
Chika. Again, can you give us guarantees that this will not happen again?
Yes, sir, with the computerization of the preparation of SARO. And there's no more SARO, sir. There's no more.
No, may SARO ka pa rin.
Pero wala nang PDAF. Wala nang.
May SARO ka pa rin.
Meron
Insofar as lump sum funds are concerned, right?
Yes, sir. Oo.
Yung release, yung budget as release document only applies to line item allocations.
Yes, sir.
Offhand, ma'am, out of curiosity, how many SAROs do you issue in a year prior to the budget as release document? Ilang libo ho yan o daang libo?
10,000, sir.
10,000 SAROs. So for a given year, how do you begin the number? Paano yung series ng number?
0001, 5 digits ho yun.
May year po ba yan? Wala.
Okay, yes, sir.
So kunyari, 14-00001.
Yes, sir.
14-00002. Pag
Yes,
15, up to what number? Mga 10,000?
Yes, sir.
Now, what determines the issuance of a SARO containing multiple projects and the issuance of a SARO for a singular project?
CE yun eh.
Di ba? May nakikita akong SARO minsan, isang project lang nakalagay na maliit. May nakikita akong SARO minsan, list of projects bigla na malaki.
Sir, it's based on the request of the agency. They'll request it by project.
So pag nag-request yung agency na 3 project, yun yung ilalabas nyo.
Yes,
Pag nag-request yung agency na isa lang yung nasa pipeline, isa lang din.
Yes, sir.
So it's driven by the agency. You don't have any say in it.
Yes, sir.
You can't lump them together. I presume nagkakasabay-sabay yun. Let's say nag-submit ng agency ng letter dated today, may dumating na naman mamayang hapon, o baka dumating sa inyo in one day, 5 sunod-sunod na request. How do you unbundle that?
Sir, if it's only one implementing agency, it can be combined into one SARO.
Kahit na iba't ibang category?
Meron naman ho naka-identify kung anong PAP, Program Activity Project.
So pwedeng
May
sa isang
number.
SARO, nagsasaro ba kayo sa MOE? Hindi na? Oo, di ba?
Yes, sir.
So pwedeng may CO at MOE in the same SARO for the
Yes.
same agency?
Yes, sir.
Tama? Wala po kayong rules doon? Tipid papel lang? Wala po doon na pag pumasok ng same day, sama-sama na siya? Yan.
Just, sir, para lang, just to facilitate the release.
But you have an SOP. What's the best practices with respect to that? Shouldn't you, for example, ihiwala yung SARO ng MOE sa CO? If it exceeds a certain amount, hiwalay na SARO na yan.
No,
What would
sir.
be your rule?
As long as the PAP is identified.
So kahit na 10 pages yung SARO, pwede.
Yes, sir.
What's the longest SARO that you've issued, ma'am? In your 30 years experience.
Kasi before wala kang ABM, yung comprehensive release ng agency, we cover it by SARO. So, kung gano'n kahaba ang mababa, yung i-refer mo ABM. Oo, parang gano'n.
Mga 30.
30 pages? 30 pages as long as.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, subject.
Tapos pag may isang mali doon,
4, 5,
isang entry na mali,
like
paano yun?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, subject.
Yun nga ho, kinakorek na
Subject
yun. There's
1, 2,
another
3,
bureau
4, 5,
that
subject
reviews it.
1, 2, 3,
But
4,
after
5.
it has been released already,
After it has been released and the agency said, uy, malitong project na to, hindi to XYZ, ABC to. How do you correct it and what document will you issue?
it will be returned to DBM, sir.
The whole 30 pages?
Yung ano lang, yung page lang na merong
And then what will you do, ma'am?
another SARO will be issued. Another SARO will be issued, sir.
A subsequent number o A?
Subsequent number, sir.
Subsequent number na. Ma'am, are these rules contained in a book somewhere or are you following just the practice of DBM?
Sir,
Do you have a manual, an SOP?
unfortunately, we don't have a manual, sir.
So you're just following previous practices
Yes.
ng mga employees ng DBM?
Yes, sir.
Can you mention for the record the name of the program, ma'am, that you're utilizing now to avoid the double numbering of SAROs, to avoid clerical errors? Anong tawag sa IT program niyo doon?
E-budget system.
E-budget system. Can you briefly describe it, or whoever can describe it for us? What does the e-budget system basically seek to accomplish? Please, ma'am, kindly identify yourself. Please bear with me, ma'am, because given the resolution filed, we have to come up with a report.
It's okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Good morning po. Ako po si Amaneli Arevalo ng
Morning,
Budget
ma'am.
Technical Service ng DBM. Ang electronic budget system po is the current system na ina-adapt ng DBM for the releasing ng SARO, NCA ng inire-release namin. For every release document na coming from, kunwari a request from the agency, it will be acted upon by the different BMBs or Budget Management Bureau in charge of the department or agency. Meron ho silang connection at their own bureau wherein they can log in with the system to make the necessary release documents. And then, at their end, they will be able to produce an e-copy to be approved by the director of the concerned BMB. And then,
A concerned BMB has a list of agencies under it.
yes, sir. And then, after which, it will go to the Undersecretary or Office of the Secretary for approval, initial approval, containing the signature. When it is approved, it will...
This is an actual signature or a digital
Initial,
signature?
initial, sir. Actual initial. And then it will go to the central processing unit for the printing of the e-copy document. It will be printed into a security paper. We called it SECPA with corresponding mga, ano, sir, features,
watermarks.
security features. And then after the printing, it will go to the signatory.
Now, who checks the numbers? Where is the number checked?
Sir,
Paano nyo may iwasan na may 239
sir, automatic yung numbering ng ano, e-budget.
sa CPU? Sa central processing unit nyo, nandun yung
Yes,
control
sir.
number.
Aha.
Because it comes from the different divisions, right?
Yes, sir.
May dumarating ng mga SARO galing sa iba't ibang bureau na nag-handle ng iba't ibang agency. Darating pupunta rin sa CPU nyo.
CPRU.
CPRU. It's the CPRU that now gives the number?
No, sir. It is built in the system. The moment it was approved by the Office of the Secretary, and then it is available for printing, it is automatically indicated yung number. The moment the CPRU printed it, the number will
So
be
may
appear.
memory na yung CPRU. CPRU is a computer or an office?
No, CPRU is an office in charge of the printing of the
So may sequence na sila
release
doon?
document. Yes, sir.
Wala po tayong ganyan noon.
Wala, sir. Kasi even the regional offices can access the system, sir, eh. Kaya
So wala na
sabay-sabay
tayong
yun, eh.
AABB na SARO?
Wala na, sir.
Wala na. Since 2007.
Actually, the e-budget started in 2005. Later na, sir, yung e-tails, eh, which takes care of yung mga PDAP releases. Hindi yun nasabay, eh.
Ngayon po ba, lahat na pasok na dyan?
Yes, sir.
Since when? Be conservative. Safe na, pasok na lahat.
Sana, sir. Itong
Anong sana?
effective, sir, effective 2014, we are trying na wala na kaming manual SARO.
So
That
hanggang
is a
ngayon, may
rule.
manual SARO pa tayo?
No, for 2014, wala na, sir. So far, yung ngayong, hanggang itong date na to, sir.
Wala nang manual SARO. So as
Wala.
late as 2013, may manual SARO pa?
Yes, meron pa, sir.
So the clerical errors would still have, there's a possibility na pwede pa mangyari yun for the manual SARO?
Sir, konti na lang yun, sir, eh. Kaya very minimal na lang.
Ano na
Kaya
lang yung mga
lang,
huling naiwan?
Ah,
Out of curiosity.
Ano ba? Manual. Sir, yung debt service. Minsan yung debt service kasi, yung interest payment.
Kung ano pa yung automatically appropriated,
Oh,
yung
yes,
pa yung...
sir. Kasi sir, usually, matagal dumating yung actual na pinapadala ng BTR.
But so far, since January 1, 2014, and up to this date, lahat dumadaan sa CPRU nyo?
Sa system, e-budget system.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. So noted, Secretariat is directed to include the inputs of our invited guests from DBM. Sorry, ma'am, I won't ask COA anymore. Sila naman yung may problema. The comments of DBM in order to respond adequately to the resolution of Senator Santiago, emphasizing how this can be avoided moving forward in future issuances of special allotment release orders. So ordered. Proceeding now to PSR number 569, the resolution of Senator Pimentel to urge COA to conduct a special audit on DA's Organic Agricultural Fund. Offhand, may I ask COA, I don't know who will answer. COA is an independent constitutional body. We cannot order you to do something or not do something. Let's just place that on the record first. Is that correct?
Sir, good morning po.
Good morning, ma'am.
Kasi
We can urge you, but we cannot order you
can
around.
request.
But we cannot order you around. Is that correct? Tanggap ko yun, tanggapin nyo na rin.
Parang ganun.
Ako nga, tanggap ko yun, kayo pa.
So, pwede ho mag-request and then we will include that in our priorities.
But Congress, or by a resolution, we cannot say, a resolution ordering COA to blah, blah, blah. We can only urge you, right? Or call on you, right?
Parang ganun na.
We can request. And technically, you can turn it down too. I mean, if it's not feasible, if you don't have the
Yeah,
budget,
opo.
if you don't want to do it, or if you
Yes.
just did it recently.
Or it can be, hindi naman actually turned down. It can, para sabihin natin, i-defer. Kasi ho, halimbawa, may mga commitments na kami previously, and then here comes the request.
Unahin mo na yun. Ilalagay nyo sa pipeline, kumbaga.
Opo, nasa pipeline.
So, again, for the record, can you discuss to us, ma'am, what types of audits are there, and what's so special about a special audit?
Okay. COA is performing several types of audits. No? We have regular audits, the one performed by the audit teams assigned to different agencies.
That's one.
Yeah. And then we have also the special audit, just like what was done in the PDAF.
In the 0709 PDAF.
But this special audit, parang combination po yung PDAF. So kasi parang ano siya, performance and naging fraud pa siya.
Wait. So,
Yeah.
regular, special. A third type, I'm sure, is a fraud audit.
Opo, yung
Right.
fraud kasi yung nga, yung may anomalies na talaga, ganun po.
Fourth,
Other
may
one-
fourth pa ba?
Meron pa po yung sa Special Audit Office, they also perform, ano ngayon yung sa rate audit, yun sa Meralco, ganyan, yung sa mga
Public utilities?
yes, rate audit.
Rate, R-A-T-E.
Yeah, and that is being requested naman po by yung public utilities.
What if it's private already?
Opo, pero kasi ano ng ERC or yung Opo, yung sa rates ba?
Itong pagtaas ng Meralco noong December, in-audit niyo yun?
Depende po kung may request po yung ano, yung
Kung wala, hindi nyo
regulatory
ginagalaw.
bodies, hindi po.
What else, ma'am?
Kasi may fee po yun.
What else, ma'am?
Ano pa ba yung mga ano natin? Hindi, yung let me clarify. Yung pong regular audits, it composed of value for money, that's performance audit, and then financial and compliance. So, yun po yung regular audits na, which is being performed regularly by the audit teams assigned to different agencies or auditees.
Now, the request of Senator Pimentel, if he will pass the resolution, is for a special audit to be conducted insofar as the Organic Agricultural Fund is concerned. Are you familiar with this, Ms. Gatubay? This Organic Agricultural Fund, multi-year ba to? 1 year lang to?
Actually, there were releases in calendar years 2011 to 2013.
Noong 2010, wala.
Wala pa ho. Wala ho kaming encounter na fund on organic farming.
So the program started in 2011,
2011, yes.
based on your audit.
Yes.
Now, we can draw the parameters of this. Kumbaga, when you speak of Organic Agricultural Fund, this is a specific fund.
Yes.
Out of,
It is part of the regular fund.
of course, ma'am, of the DA.
Yes.
How much was this in 2011?
In 2011.
I asked the question, ma'am, para ma-unbundle natin na naka-spotlight doon.
Actually, in DA OSEC, no release in 2011. But in other bureaus,
Meron.
there were releases.
You are handling OSEC.
OSEC as well as the bureaus attached to the DA. I am the supervising auditor.
So is it correct to identify the request for special audit? Okay. We have the records here of the 2011 GAA. Promotion and Development of Organic Agriculture, 900 million. For 2012, 927 million. So, tamang parameter po ba yun, ma'am? Organic Agricultural Fund.
Yes.
That's the correct way of identifying our request for special audit.
Yes. Yes,
Tama
sir.
po yan? Hindi kayo malilito sa ganun.
No.
That's a technical word insofar as you are concerned. So itong item sa budget na promotion and development of organic agriculture, that is synonymous to Organic Agricultural Fund.
Yes.
Would that be correct?
Yes.
Tama, ma'am?
Yes.
Now, the difference with your regular audit that you're doing every year and a special audit, what would it entail on the part of COA? Anong additional trabaho, oras, man hours, or expenses? Maybe no?
Actually, it is part of our regular audit.
Regular audit.
Yes. So whatever documents that passes through our audit, we audit it.
Yes.
Using some techniques because we have very limited personnel in the
So pag nag-special audit po tayo sa central office na yun,
Yes, okay.
may SAO kayo, ma'am, di ba? Special Audit Office.
Pero sir, there is an office who is in charge of conducting fraud audits, which is
Special Audit
fraud,
pa lang to, ma'am?
No po, fraud audit office no? Fraud office. The SAO is conducting GWASPA, government-wide audit.
So, if we file,
And that is one, also that's for FIDAP po, ginawa.
Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Recto. So if we conduct a special audit, if we ask that a special audit be conducted, insofar as the Organic Agricultural Fund is concerned, anong difference nun sa ginagawang trabaho ni Ms. Katubay ngayon?
Sige.
Actually, at our level, we audit only the fund transfer because the implementation of the organic agricultural program is with the local government office or units. So the auditors in the LGUs will be the one to audit the implementation.
Pag nag-special audit tayo, lahat na yan biglang titingnan.
Yes. Okay.
Tama?
Pag special audit po, kasi nga, just like what Auditor Katubay said, we have auditors assigned at different agencies. So, if for the DA, just like for the Department of Agriculture, they're the one downloading funds to the, say, LGUs or other government agencies. So, the funds released to the Department of Agriculture, say, OSEC, the auditor assigned there will be the one to audit. But if it is downloaded to the, say, LGUs, the utilization of the funds transferred or downloaded to the LGUs, the auditor assigned at the LGUs will be the one to audit it. But if it is a special audit, just like what the SAO did, they will audit from, say, from the beginning to the end, down the line. So there's only one audit team that will do that down the line. That's the... Apo.
Hindi magkakaiba.
Apo.
How long would it take, ma'am?
Well, it depends on the depends on the coverage, say how many years. It depends on the ganito po yun, no? Minsan nagtatagal because sabi, napunta sa LGU and then the LGU will transfer to the NGO. So, pababa na po ang pababa yun. So, if you are conducting a special audit, susundan mo yun hanggang sa dulo. So, depende po sa pangyayari, no? Doon sa paano yung downloading of funds.
So you can say.
Opo.
How much do you have the money for it to conduct it this year? May pera kayo para gawin yun this year? Di ba sabi niyo may pipeline kayo, may priorities kayo. If you pass this resolution, do you have the budget to effect it this year?
Kasi po, I cannot commit kasi wala po yung director dito sa fraud audit office.
But
they'll be the one, I think they will be the one to, But what they are doing, minsan naman po, the FAO, office, will make we request data from the auditors assigned dun sa nabigyan ng pondo, and then the auditors will submit what they call an evaluation report, and then they will evaluate it. Then they will evaluate it, and then that they will, kasi I already talked to the director of the FAO, and I told him, will you conduct audit? Kasi there was a request. So, sabi niya, I have to get initial inputs from the different auditors. Kasi po dun sa, just like for 2012, these are the implementing agencies for this fund, for this project or fund. May Office of the Secretary DA, Agricultural Training Institute, Bureau of Agricultural Research, Bureau of Soils, Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Product, and also the different field units of the DA. So ito po yung na 927.
The regional offices. Yan yung
Opo.
927 for 2012.
Opo, yun po yung breakdown. That is the breakdown of the 927. So maraming officers concerned po.
Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of USEC Bernard Romulo Puyat as well as ASEC Amelita Castillo. May bago ba buwan dumating? Wala naman, ano? Senator Recto? You have some questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there already a COA report for the Department of Agriculture for 2012?
Consolidated annual audit report.
Of the Department of Agriculture itself?
We have already submitted the draft KR to the chairman's office, and it is being evaluated.
2012, ha? So 2014 na tayo, wala pang 2012, or there is just a draft?
Actually, it's malapit na po kasi niremit talaga niya.
Okay, and
Kasi
that...
pag mga departments po, marami kasi mga ano doon.
Correct.
Talaga, lalo na nandun yung PDAF. So talaga pong inaano ni Chair, Office of the Chair,
Okay.
ini-scrutinize nila.
Okay, you mean to tell me that all the departments, the draft COA report is scrutinized by the COA chairman? O lahat, before it is released
Hindi naman po,
officially?
yung medyo ano ata. Just like for our class.
Sensitive, parang gano'n.
Opo, just like for our cluster,
Ah.
yung medyo tinutukan niya itong DA.
DA, ano pa? DAR, ano pa?
Opo, yung mga ganon po yung
Oh,
ano.
ano pa?
yung
Can you give us
tinutukan-
more examples? Sige,
Okay,
DA, DAR,
Ano yung mga usual suspect?
DPWH, mga
Okay.
ganyan, DOTC,
Okay.
mga Supreme Court, yung pong medyo...
Supreme Court, kasama.
Usual suspect yun?
Usual suspect.
I don't
yun.
know, what I mean kasi medyo, alam nyo naman, syempre yung auditors natin, medyo ano...
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Di ba taon-taon meron naman kayong exit conference
Opo.
sa head ng implementing agency?
Actually po, ganito po yun, no? Just like, I just cite DA kasi under po sa amin, no? So, there are different bureaus under it, no? So, after completing their audit, they issued our AOMs, and before they will finalize their management letter, because they are only bureaus, they will conduct exit conference with their respective auditing heads, unit heads. And then, for this management, all the different management letters from the bureaus, from the regional offices of the DA, this will be consolidated, the findings will be consolidated into what we call KR, Consolidated Annual Audit Report. And then there will be another exit conference, supposed to be, with the top officials of the DA. So that they will have...
So, gaano katagal yun? Halimbawa, let's say, normally, anong buwan ba yung exit conference? June?
Sa inyo. Sila.
We usually conduct the exit conference for the KR, sir.
Doon sa yung binanggit kanina, yung lower level muna. Yung bureau, halimbawa, kailan? Yung exit conference yan.
As early as March.
March.
We can already
And then,
conduct
you
it.
say it goes to the region, magkaka-exit conference din doon.
Yes, yes.
And then, to the department level, magkaka-exit conference din doon.
Di po. Bali, yung po sinasabi ng exit conference, sabay-sabay na yun, yung sa region, yung sa bureaus. Yung second exit, that will be the consolidated.
Okay.
Opo.
So, yung consolidated, kailan nangyayari yun?
Last year, it was conducted, I think it was July.
July,
sometime in
more or
July,
less, no?
For
Okay.
2012.
Okay. So, yun, ginagawa yun at the office of the secretary level na.
Yes.
So,
Top officials.
top officials with the secretary himself.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be, but not in all cases. Ganun ba yun?
He delegated it usually to the USEC.
Okay. So the job of the auditors is to inform the head of agencies, and in this case, consolidated to the secretary of the DA. Uy, bantayan mo ang mga pondong ito, ito mga ehensyang ito ng pamahalaan under your department na meron kami mga findings dyan. Ganun ba yun? That's how it should work. Am I correct? Could you please answer the question? Yes. So it
Yes,
be
Your
recorded.
Honor.
Yes, okay. So halimbawa, there is a fund. Magkano ba yung organic agricultural fund? Magkano ba yun?
In 2011, it was 900 million. In 2012, it was 927,200,000. Correct, ma'am?
Okay. Ang pagkaintindi ko, ang DBM, nagre-release ng pondo, let's say organic it's in the GAA. Okay? Ang DA gagawa ngayon ng parang work program of some sort. At sasabihin, gagamitin na namin itong nandito sa budget na Organic Agricultural Fund. Pamumudmud natin to sa mga lugar na ito. Ito magiging intended beneficiaries, halimbawa. At ito yung mga implementing agencies. Okay? Then the DBM issues the SARO. Tama? Okay. Ibibigay ngayon yun sa mga whatever implementing agencies, whether it's a national government agency or either download sa LGU, I'm not sure in this case, or to other GOCCs. Is there a consolidated audit just for this fund? Organic Agricultural Fund.
In the case of DA OSEC, we consolidate the outputs or the audit outputs of the regional offices in our CAR, Consolidated Annual Audit Report.
So meron.
Meron po.
Meron.
Part of the regular audit report.
Part of the regular audit report. So, halimbawa, marami kasing pondo yung agriculture eh. Meron, I think there are at least 12 items. Many of them are lump sum items. Karamihan dito, lump sum eh, di ba? Hindi naman line item yan eh. They're lump sum items, no? So, would you say then that the COA would do an audit for each of these, let's say, agricultural enhancement program? May mga ganun eh. So, there is an audit for each of these lump sum items. Meron bang ganun?
Our audit planning approach in the audit of the funds of the government agencies considers the various factors in planning. So one is the materiality of the amount, the program's impact on the clientele, on its clients, and if there are complaints. Usually those are the factors that we consider in prioritizing the audit of programs of the department.
So, there is no standard. Is that what you're saying? Kailangan may complaint, kailangan may... Di ba, the job of the auditor is to audit all funds of the government?
Kulang po kami ng tao, Your Honor.
So, what you're saying in effect is kulang kayo ng tao, so kulang kayo ng tools.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that's why you cannot do your job properly. Kasi kulang kayo ng tao.
Yes, Your Honor.
Parang ganon. Okay. So, I'm trying to understand. So, these lump sum items are not audited on a consolidated basis. Kasi kulang nga kayo ng tao. Am I correct? Is that safe to say?
What do you mean by consolidated basis,
You know,
Your Honor?
okay, let me borrow from the chairman. Saan ba yung ano?
Ito yung organic.
DA?
DA.
Okay.
That's a page from the budget.
Okay.
2012.
Okay. Katulad dito, ang tanong ko simple lang meron, and it is part of this hearing today, no, on resolution. I suppose all of this is material
Okay.
Di ba? Malalaki to eh. Ha?
Depende po yan, Your Honor, sa release sa regions. Kunyari sa regions, kakaunti lang ang na-release for livestock. Hindi po nila maaano yon. Matututok sila sa yung program sa mas malalaki. So in other bureaus, like for example, BAI, livestock po sa kanya, doon siya po tututok doon sa livestock na malaki ang allocated amount.
Okay, hindi kasi marami, it has come to our attention na there are so many lump sum appropriations. There are so many programs and projects, and we want to understand how COA does its job as far as auditing these individual items, lump sum appropriations in the budget are concerned. Okay? Because these are the major programs in the case of DA. One of them would be this development of organic agriculture, di ba? It is a major program. So at the end of the year, I would assume that the COA would have an exit conference, not only with the what do you call this, bureaus, the region, but also with the secretary. Okay, itong programa natin sa organic agriculture, example lang, meron naging kalokohan sa mga lugar na to, binigay sa NGO, so on and so forth. Do you inform the secretary of these findings? That's the question I'm trying to get a reply to. If you did audit them to begin with, di ba?
Yes, it's part of the protocol of COA.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Okay.
In fact, in the audit of organic farming, agricultural fund, I, as the supervising auditor, directed all my audit team leaders to focus audit on this fund.
Okay.
Because
and
of
how
the-
successful is this program naman?
We still have to receive the reports of the auditors in the field.
So wala pa.
Wala pa po.
2012
Pero
pa to.
at the level of DAOSEC, we have already audited the fund transfers. The MOA, review of MOA.
What does that mean?
Memorandum of Agreement
Between?
between the LGUs and the DA.
So may MOA ang LGU. So dinownload ng DA to sa local.
Ang
This
sinas-
is their money.
Ang sinasabi yata nila, they mentioned earlier, Senator Recto, they audit the transfers from DBM to DA, pero pag nilipat na yung pondo sa LGU, it's the auditor in the LGU, unless it's a special audit,
Correct.
who will now catch,
Correct.
who will now have the
Pero
responsibility of
auditor pa rin
auditing
nila
it.
yun eh.
Hindi
That's
nila
still
nila
part of
nahabol eh.
COA eh.
The LGUs is not, the LGUs auditors are not under my supervision.
No, I understand that. But then, that's why we're discussing this as well. Saan ba yung problema in the organization? Di ba? Are we properly auditing government funds? Dalawang issue dito eh. One is kulang sa tao. And I can understand that. No? Okay. The second is your organizational structure. Tama ba ang management perspective ninyo?
One of my
Dahil
audit,
what you're telling us today in the hearing is that pag linipat na ng national sa local, wala na kayong pakialam. Kasi ibang auditor na yung kausap doon.
no, sir,
Oo.
Your Honor, I also
Sabi ko nga, 2014 na ngayon, ang tanong ko simple lang, yung Organic Agricultural Fund ba ng 2012? Natapos na ba yung audit? Na-inform na ba si Secretary, halimbawa in an exit conference, na, uy, may napansin kami may problema dito, kung meron man. Diba? Something like that. Or let's say, let me go further back, 2011. Meron bang pondo na organic fund? I suppose meron. Tama? Okay. More or less the same amount of money. 900 million. Okay. Meron na ba tayong audit noong 2011 on the Organic Agriculture Fund?
in 2011, it was
Mike, ma'am. The mic.
In 2011, it was the Bureau of Soils and Water Management that implements organic agricultural fund.
Okay.
So we have audit report on that.
So meron na 2011.
Management letter in 2011.
Okay. Was it successful? Maganda ba ang naging resulta? May problema ba? At bakit linipat naman? Bakit iniba? If it was successful then, assuming lang, why did they change the implementation of this program to another agency?
I
mean-
can't comment on that. But we audited the fund at BSWM, and we have problems, and we have issues on.
May mga NGO din ba dyan? May mga MOA.
Actually, it was downloaded to LGUs by
Again,
BSWM.
but
yes.
with a different agency
Through the
naman.
vermicomposting facilities, they bought, BSWM bought packages of, I think, vermicomposting facilities. They term it vermicomposting
Ano yan, mga
facilities.
uod-uod?
Yes.
Okay.
Uod and shredders.
Okay.
And then meron pa silang
May
housing.
NGO ulit dyan?
Wala po. Yung sinabi lang po dito, LGUs.
So hanggang LGU. But do you know if the LGUs went into MOAs with NGOs to purchase this uod or something?
Ang bumili po, BSWM.
Who's BSWM?
Bureau of Soils.
And then binigay yung uod sa LGU.
Distribute na lang po.
Ganon. So may bidding yan.
May
Pero yung uod kulang sa nutrients.
Okay, so yan ba nagkaroon kayo ng exit conference with the secretary for your findings on that?
kasama
for
po ito noong
Kasama.
2011. Diniscuss sa CARD.
So nangyayari yan, meron exit conference. And then napag-uusapan dyan, how do you improve, di ba? Dapat ganun yun eh.
May mga recommendations.
May recommendations
po.
kayo, may sasagutin sila. They may agree, they may disagree. But then the idea is to talk about how do we improve the program,
Yes,
di ba?
Yes po.
Okay? So, not only do you audit the implementing agency, the mga bureau, but the entire fund. Not really. O sige, okay.
Let me clarify, if I may, Senator Recto. DA level lang kayo, di ba, ma'am?
Opo.
Kung ginamit ng tama o mali ng LGU yan, yung LGU auditor na nyo ang makakakita nun.
Opo.
Di ba ba? Yes, Director
Actually
Gomez.
po, di ba, when the funds are downloaded to the LGU or
Yes.
NGOs, the DL, bawa siyang nag-download, it will require liquidation of that fund
Yes.
together with the physical accomplishment. So nakikita din po ng DA ano yung paano niya ginastos at ano ang na-accomplish niya out of the fund downloaded.
So magre-report back yun.
Opo, so
Kasi,
there is a MOA for that and then nandun po yung duties and responsibilities ng bawat party.
Correct. Okay, now, kasi nababasa natin sa pahayagan, mula, I don't know what year, 2002, 2003, hanggang sa ngayon, I mean, marami yan, DA, DAR, paulit-ulit. Gusto ko malaman kung nagkaroon ng exit conference sa secretary at paulit-ulit pa rin nilang ginagawa kahit na sinabihan na ninyo, delikado itong ginagawa ninyo. Bakit napakaraming NGO? Bakit maraming mga walang bidding dito? Bakit, something like that. That is the point I'm trying to drive at. Now, itong Organic Agriculture Fund, baka lumabas later on, malaking kalokohan din na naman ito. Maganda yung pangalan, pero paano ba nagagastos ang tama talaga ito? Now, finally, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move on to... So, remember, there are many lump sum appropriations in the department's budget, in the DA. There are many lump sum appropriations in the DAR budget. There are many in the other government agency, at least 5 departments. Ang natatandaan ko, napakalaki ng mga lump sum appropriations na yan. And earlier, we also established that the DA cannot release this money to those implementing agencies without work programs submitted to the DBM. Also identifying supposed to be beneficiaries. Diba? Am I correct? Okay, now, let me move on. After you do an exit conference with the DA, do you have a consolidated exit conference with the DBM?
We don't have.
Wala. Mr. Chairman, I think that is worth noting that there is no consolidated exit conference with the DBM. With the DBM. Okay, now, let me move even further. I would assume that there is an exit conference with the DBM. Your special COA audit 2007 to 9, did you have an exit conference with the DBM?
Special audit.
On the PDAF?
Yun po, ay, hindi ko, kaya sa ibang office po hindi ko.
So hindi nyo alam?
Opo.
Okay, no.
Director Ruiz, can you answer?
As far as we know, sir, there was no exit interview conducted by
There is
COA
no exit
relative
interview.
to that report.
Okay. No, what I'm trying to establish here is the DBM is the Department of Budget and Management. There must be, in the future, an exit conference as well with the DBM by the COA to inform the DBM on a consolidated basis naman, uy, bantayan nyo itong mga department na to. At the department level, uy, bantayan nyo itong mga bureau na to, itong mga region na to. Ha? And then, pupunta i-consolidate naman sa DBM yan, uy, these 5 departments of government, ang delikado ha, sa amin tingin ha, bantayan ninyo itong mga department na to.
Sir, I
Yes.
think the DBM is furnished copies of audit reports.
No, I understand that. We are furnished copies here as well eh. I'm talking about exit conference. This is a management issue. Di ba? Katulad ng sa pribado sektor eh. May mga audit sa baba hanggang sa manager, hanggang sa board. Pinag-uusapan yan up to the board. May mga committees on that. Kahit sa pribado. Okay. The next point is there an exit conference in the office of the President?
For DA, no.
No, for the entire.
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
Walang ganun din. Okay.
Wala rin po.
Supreme Court, meron.
Wala rin.
Senado.
Kanya-kanya po.
Bali, yung pong audit report nila, yun ang in-exit.
Pero wala exit conference.
Doon sa, in totality.
Or at least in the 3 branches of government at the very
wala.
least, di ba? Wala.
What we know is kanya-kanya.
Okay. So, I will not belabor the issue, Mr. Chairman, but thank you very much for your very candid and honest responses. And, you know, what I'm trying to look into here is management processes, proper auditing, organizational issues, and as you mentioned, and I'm well aware of, yung kakulangan ninyo sa tao. But, hindi ba taon-taon naman we provide you the budget to hire people?
Nobody applies. Wala nag-a-apply.
Taon-taon naman eh. Sa totoo lang.
Actually, sir, marami na po nag-a-apply yung mga bago. Kaya lang, marami din nag-retire.
Pareho lang yun. Cancel each other out.
Pero taon-taon, what happens to that money? Savings?
MPBF.
Naku. We are not in a position to...
Why not? You are the auditor. How can you be not in a position to comment?
Ay, kasi po, hindi po under sa akin yung COA na...
ganun.
MPBF. Di ba? Unfilled position yun eh.
Sir, for the COA, we
Yes.
provide both the filled and unfilled, so it's already automatically...
You give it to them?
Yes, released to the COA.
You release it to them?
Yes.
Oh,
Your Honor. Automatically and regular release po lahat ng budget ng mga...
So, savings na yun nila yan?
Well, I would defer to
Yeah,
your
savings
answer.
na nila yan.
Okay. So, savings yun. Meron kayong sariling DAP? Hindi naman. Okay. So, again, I'd like to thank our resource persons. Maraming salamat, for being present and for being very candid in your responses. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Grace Poe. Ma'am, just a question. We have here the Compliance on Consolidated Annual Audit Report as of November 29, 2012. Ito po yung sinasabi niyong hindi pa pirmado? Compliance on Consolidated Annual Audit Report as of November 29, 2012 for DA. Yes, ma'am. Ano po to? For financial year this ending December 31, 2011. Ito na ba yung final report? Hindi pa.
Noong 2011.
Noong 2011. Is this the final report for 2011? Pag sinabi niyong compliance on consolidated annual audit report for fiscal year ending 2011
For agriculture. But then there's no exit conference. Mababasa ba ni Secretary lahat yan?
$2011. Ma'am, kayo nagbigay sa amin yun.
What is the other one? Yung sa salaries. Anyway, get it also.
Hoy, ma'am. Ano na? Ma'am, kayo nagbigay sa amin yan. Ito pa, meron pa.
Yeah, okay, anyway. Get it. Dalawa to, di ba?
This is what COA gave us last year. Tama ba? Last year?
Hindi pa final yan.
Hindi pa final to, ma'am?
Draft lang, draft. Hindi pa napirmahan.
No, this is for 2011. Sorry, mama. Here, ma'am.
Ito po yung endorsement na opinion kasi ito eh. Kasi pag nagbibigay po kami, meron kami parang...
No.
Ito po, auditor's report to, which is part of the report po ito. Independent auditor's, this is the opinion. Pero pag nagbibigay kami sa inyo, meron kaming covering letter.
Hindi ito binigay nila sa atin. Saan galing ito?
May covering letter yan.
Eh sir, naman kasi kung minsan pag marami po na bag.
Palagay ko yan. Nakapirma
Bag po,
naman
sir.
si ano eh. Nakapirma po si Katubay.
Pag marami.
Ah. Ma'am, pirmado niyo yung letter eh.
Sa ano? Sa opinion.
Yes, ma'am.
Sa opinion.
Pirmado niyo yung letter, ma'am. Kayo naman, oh. Well, just to be able to identify the parameters. Darating ba si Coco? Hindi. In the resolution of Senator Coco, he made specific mention of Yusek Fleta. Yusek Borna, you're representing DA. Yusek Fleta is not coming anytime soon. Please use the mic.
No, he's not right now coming. So I'm coming in behalf of the Department of Agriculture.
Just to clarify so that the audit will be clear, ma'am, hindi ko maintindihan sa inyo. In 2011, the GAA amount makes mention of 900 million. In your audit report, you made mention of a 952 million composting project.
950.
Did you see it, ma'am? 952, di ba? Ito yung binaba sa LGU na pinambili ng shredder tapos nag-produce ng mga uod, di ba? Kasi yung ibang uod, hindi malnourished na ibang uod, sabi nyo. Are we talking of the same fund, Isaac Berna? 952 is against 900 for 2011 na, for 2011.
For 2011 cannot be. It must have been used for. Yes, it was funded by different funds, not only by the organic program.
The vermiculture.
Yes, because the total budget of 2011 was only 900
Yes.
million. So that must have been they used other funds for the organic program.
Ma'am, will you be able to identify that? Mike, ma'am.
In our report for BSWM,
This is 2011, eh?
Yes, in 2011, the one we reported as in the BSWM ML letter, no, the allotment refers to calendar years 2009 and 2010.
Calendar years 09 and 010.
I think it was implemented only in 2011.
But wala kayong banggit dun sa 900 million na nasa GAA ng 2011?
Sa 2012 na siguro yun maaano, sir.
Ma'am, wait, let me clarify that. Kung 2011 yung GAA, presumably pinatupad yon yung item 2011. Presumably pinatupad yon in whole or in part ng 2011. But siya mag-a-appear ng 2012. Shouldn't it always appear in 2011?
Baka po hindi nagastos lahat. O kaya late po ang release ng SARO.
Ngayon nalito na ako. Kung hindi siya nagastos lahat, so hindi ko ma-identify yung item sa budget in a particular audit report for a year? Again, ito ma'am, 2011 yung GAA item. Ginastos in part ng 11, ginastos in part ng 12, baka umabot pa ng 13 yan, hindi ko alam. So it will appear in the COA report of 11, 12, and 13?
Kung late po ang release ng pera. In this case po, yung sa BSWM, yung SARO po na ginamit is 2009 and 2010. Yung 952 million na
Ba't nagka 3 years? Director Ruiz or anyone from DBM, meron ba tayong ganun at that time? Can you have a SARO presumably for an item in the budget in 09 that you will be implementing until 2011?
No, Your Honor. And based on our records, the program Promotion and Development of Organic Agriculture started only in 2011.
In 2011?
Yes, based on our records. That program started only in 2011 under
Anong
the
SARO
clean
number niyo,
budget.
ma'am? Dito sa 952?
Hindi lang organic fund today.
Saan galing, ma'am, yung pondong 952? Anong item?
Sa
BSWM?
yes. 2009 and 2010 SAROs.
For an item in the budget, presumably in 09? The SARO makes mention of the item in the budget, right?
Technology package and community-based composting facility.
Yusek Bernard, are you aware of that?
That was probably the BSWM funds because the Organic Agriculture Act was of 2010 and we only started getting our budget 2011. So that the 2009-2010 was probably BSWM promoting or implementing organic programs.
So, if Senator Pimentel makes mention of DA's Organic Agricultural Fund, it only refers to a program that started in 2011? So, previous to that, wala? Wala?
Yes, wala.
So, if we pass this resolution, your audit will only cover the period of 2011 up to the present? We still have it up to now?
Yes.
3 taon lang, ma'am, yun. Maikli lang yun.
But in the resolution, proposed resolution, it was mentioned for only, it was only for 2012.
Especially lang. Especially lang yun, ma'am.
Okay.
Especially lang. May special mention lang kasi doon din siya ng special mention eh. No, just to be able to draw the parameters of the audit that we will be requesting. So we're talking of Organic Agricultural Fund, Yusek, is a technical term? Meaning, if we say Organic Agricultural Fund, we know exactly what we're talking about. It's the 900 million in 2011 and the 927,200,000 in 2012.
Right now, if you talk about the Organic Agriculture Fund, it's because of the Organic Agriculture Act of 2010 or RA 168. But prior to that, there was no law, so that's why whenever BSWM would implement programs, they would just call it the organic program. But right now, when you say organic program, it's with the Organic Agriculture Act.
So it's possible that up to now, BSWM still has an organic program too?
We download a few amounts, but we download it to different different implementing agencies.
So it's now all consolidated under the Organic Agriculture Fund,
Yes,
including BSWM.
including BSWM.
So ma'am, so if you mention that, nagkakainit na tayo, 11, 12, 13. Wala pa naman kayong 13 eh. Di ba? Wala pa naman 13 eh.
If it is a special audit, you can also include it.
So can we say up to the present? No. We can say up to the present.
13 po. Kasi if it is a special audit, especially if it is only a team that will conduct the special audit, pwedeng masakop niya. Kasi for the auditors assigned at the DA and its different bureaus, they are still working on the CY13.
So we can simply state, ma'am, the Organic Agricultural Fund under or in accordance with RA 168, and you would know what to do.
Apo.
Okay then, ma'am. Senator Ralph?
Yeah, one last question. I think I asked this also earlier, but I don't remember. I don't remember if there was a reply. How successful has this program been? Maybe I should address this question to the auditor. I have the report. And to the DA. Yes. Mahusay ba yung programang ito, itong organic? Meron na ba kayo nakitang magandang naidulot ito?
Basically, the problem with this is yung unliquidated balance po. Masyadong malaki.
Masyadong malaki.
Oo, kaya walang mga reports na makikita namin paano
yeah.
ginamit yung pera.
Okay.
And then, yung monitoring reports and accomplishment reports, hinihintay pa ho namin galing sa DA.
Okay. Okay.
Para
So, malaking
ma-evaluate
problema. Ito the
sa
bill.
party po namin, malaking problema po kasi hindi namin makita kung paano ginamit yung pera.
Okay. Okay. Yusek Berna, how effective has this program been?
It actually has been so very effective. In fact, we can just give you all the out of the 2.7 billion that we have we have been given by the DBM. We also actually have the accomplishment report. We can submit it to the chair.
So, could you repeat that? I'm sorry, Berna. Yeah.
We have an accomplishment report stating all the projects, all the demo farms, all the seeds that have been implemented, that have been given, detailing the 2.7 billion.
Okay.
Yes.
But based on what the supervising auditor said, that many are unliquidated, it would appear to us that there seems to be many problems with this Organic Agricultural Fund.
This is BSWM. You're talking about BSWM.
LGUs.
No, in general. In general.
At
it's not
saka po
easy.
dun sa mga NGAs.
You're talking of the
Entire.
Organic Agricultural Fund already, or just the BSWM fund that you audited?
The fund po.
The fund na,
Oo.
Yes.
Kasi
under the law.
lahat po ito recorded sa libro ng DA as
Correct.
receivables.
Correct.
Subject to liquidation.
Correct.
Either downloaded to LGUs, to national government agencies, or to NGOs.
Correct. Correct. Okay.
Yes, our problem is the compliance from the LGU. They have not liquidated, but we've been following it up with them. But it was delivered. But we need the LGU.
What was delivered?
Whatever programs. The fund transfers. It was transferred to them.
So, ang bilang nyo, fund transfer lang.
Fund transfer.
Fund transfer lang ang bilang ninyo, Berna. So, you don't know if the farmers benefited from it.
Director Leo, he's the head of our organic program.
Sir, kindly situate yourself. Kahit dyan na lang po. Kindly identify yourself for the record, sir.
Yeah, Your Honors, good morning. My name is Leo Cañada. I was designated as coordinator of the program only this year, June 30 of 2014. The question earlier was, how successful is the program?
Sir, June 30?
Yeah, January 30, 2014.
January 30.
Yeah, before that I was with BAFs around 2013 April.
What is that? You were with?
I was with the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards, which is the agency lodged with the responsibility of implementing the program per Public Act 10068.
BAFC.
BAFS.
FS. Okay. Okay, please continue. Okay.
Yeah, the question earlier is how successful is the program? organic program is our gateway to better health, more nutritious food.
We understand that. We're talking
Without
about
the
the
pitch,
fund.
without the pitch.
Hindi mo kami mabebenta ng uod. Sige, please continue, Yusek. Yes, Director.
Yes. Because I just came in lately, I was informed that there were fund transfers to a number of local government units. And up to now, according to our accountant at the Day Central Office, we've been sending out communications reminding them of their need to liquidate the fund transfers that were given to them earlier. Unfortunately, until now, we still have to receive most, if not all, of the liquidation reports.
Okay, so my question was simple. How effective has the program been? This particular fund for 2012 or nakikinabang ba yung magsasaka? Alam mo, I look at it this way. Is this a demand-driven project or a supply-driven project? Ito ba hinihingi na magsasaka o naisip lang ninyo, bigay natin sa magsasaka, isupply natin do? O ito ba talagang pangangailangan nila? Yun na may kaibahan yun eh. Yung demand-driven at supply-driven. Kung halimbawa, in the case of the DA, meron kayong laki ng pondo eh. Sasabihin nyo sa mga local government, oy, bibigyan namin kayong pondo. Natural, tatanggapin nila. Supply-driven eh. Pero ito ba hinihingi sa baba ng mga magsasaka? O kayo-kayo lang ang nag-isip na kailangan may programa tayong ganito? Demand-driven or supply-driven ba to?
Definitely, Your Honor, is demand-driven. Over the past year that I have been with the program, that is what I have observed. So it's like we request the different regional field units to send in their representatives, as well as the focal persons from the different implementing agencies, so that collectively we could discuss, we could plan out programs that can be funded with under the program, provided with funding support.
Hindi ako doon sa amin sa Batangas, wala akong alam na mga magsasakang humihingi ng mga uod. Alam ko, gumagawa sila ng sarili nila, organic. Gumagawa sila ng sarili nila sa aking pagkaalam. So I'm not sure that if many of the programs in the DA are really demand-driven or supply-driven. No? Considering that we are a highly centralized bureaucracy, it is possible that most of our programs and projects are supply-driven in that sense. Kasi highly centralized. But I'm concerned with the statement of the DA, or rather the supervising auditor, na maraming unliquidated, so on and so forth. And that's why, I was driving at the point earlier of exit conferences. Kayo ba may exit conference kayo dito sa organic fund na to?
Until now, wala pa po.
So wala kayong exit conference. Ang secretary walang exit conference. Ang DBM walang exit conference. Yung COA commissioner ba nag-exit conference sa Pangulo? On the general consolidated, meron tayong consolidated financial statements of the national government, di ba? Does the COA commissioner, chairperson, do an exit conference with the president every year and tell him, uy, ito yung mga napansin namin sa takbo ng pamahalaan, ito yung mga ahensya na ito, ang dapat bantayan natin, may mga problema dito. May ganun ba? Wala rin. So, gaano katagal na kayo sa COA?
I am
20 years? 35 years. And you're not aware if there is such. That means, possibly wala. There is no system in place for that to take place. Di ba? Parang ganun,
Baka
Walang
informally
consolidated.
Po, baka meron po informally tinatawag siya, pero part
But
of
the
the
formal,
system.
wala. There's none, Okay. So thank you very much, Salamat. Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, ma'am and Director, what are vermicasts? Director? Ano po ang vermicast?
Vermicast are products of vermicomposting.
Ano po yun?
Yung uod po, vermin culture, should I mention it?
Sige po, huwag kayong mahiya.
Yung ano po, yun.
Ano po yun?
Yung dumi po.
Yung dumi ng uod, yun ang fertilizer.
Opo.
Yun po ang output.
Yun po yung output.
It's measured by kilo.
Opo.
Ang binibilang po yung dumi ng uod, hindi yung uod.
Hindi po, yung dumi po ng uod.
That's what COA is counting?
Organic fertilizer.
That's what COA is counting in kilos.
Based on the report of the BSWM.
Kaya hindi nyo binibilang yung uod, yung...
Hindi po. Ano lang po kasi, samples lang kami binibisita namin, tinitingnan, pero yung evaluation na ginawa namin, based on the report of BSWM. Kasi meron po silang report kung yung fertilizer ba na generated by the facility, pure po ba o pumasa sa standards?
O hindi.
O hindi, opo.
And based on your 2011 report, only 5.27 of the BSWM program passed the standards. 52.
How many percent?
5.27%.
Ang pumasalan.
According to the COA, on the BSWM, this is not yet the organic, that's not yet the program. This is the BSWM program.
Only pass.
Huh?
Anong ibig sabihin doon?
Out of,
Conservate to 95%?
ma'am, anong ibig sabihin ng past ulit? What's the standard, sir? How do you know that this is of standard? May moisture content? What's the standard? Director? What's the standard?
Yeah. Ang pinagbabasihan po naman yung presence ng macronutrients. There are prescribed formulations as well as weights, NPK. Meron po tayong Philippine National Standards for Organic Agriculture. So, para ma-determine po natin kung talagang organic, meron tayong efficacy test na kinokonduct po.
Based on COA report, they said failed due to high moisture. This is the BSWM program. This is not the organic fertilizer, organic agricultural fund. Are you using the same standards? Ma'am, saan nyo nakuha yung moisture content?
Galing po ito sa BSWM.
Sa kanila din galing.
Opo.
Now the standards being adopted, hindi na siya moisture.
Meron po tayong Philippine National Standards for Organic Agriculture.
And the basic barometer and determinants are?
Moisture content.
Kasama talaga yan.
Opo.
What else? Yun lang?
NPK, the presence of macro and micronutrients.
But how will they know that? Based on the report you submit?
Yeah, based on the report submitted by the LGUs, which received the assistance, so that they could undertake production of this so-called organic fertilizer.
Ma'am, out of curiosity, you rely on the report given to you? You don't have the capacity to test them yourself?
Yes.
Yourself, right? Wala po, di ba?
We don't have the capacity, but we rely on the report because this will impact on the production of fertilizers.
So kung nagbigay sila ng report na pasado, no way of checking?
Wala po kaming kukuha.
No way. You rely on what they say,
Yes.
essentially. Senator Grace?
Good morning. Thank you for your presence here today. First, I'd like to ask Yusek Berna. Well, thank you also for your tireless efforts to promote the quality of agricultural products. And I know that you've been hardworking, to going around the country and checking up on these different projects. Maybe you can submit to us just pictures of the farms that you visit, and also how we showcase our products abroad and how the feedback for that. But my question is, what are the safeguards in place so that we can prevent abuse? For example, I know that we have an agri-board, right? How are the memberships of this agri-board chosen? And if you can mention a few names, and if they've submitted anything to you, or if you have any meetings with them, if there are any feedbacks.
We have a National Organic Agriculture Board composed of different government agencies like the DILG, DOH, DOST, but we also have non-government organizations one representing Mindanao from the Farmers Group, Visayas Farmers Group, Luzon Farmers Group, also for the NGO to represent the national, and for agribusiness. So we have 5 NGOs included in our board. And basically, most of the programs, especially if it's a certain amount, it passes through the Organic Agriculture Board. There's a technical working group first that looks at the proposals and checks the proposals. And after that, when they feel that it should be approved by the board, then it goes to the board. And our board members are all agricultural practitioners. So whenever there's a proposal, you can expect them to know what the proposal is all about, if it's overpriced, if it's not underpriced, etc. And after that, when a project is approved by the board, they monitor themselves also. There are members of the board that go around to see if the program is implemented.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Any other points?
Mr. Chairman, just one final item, maybe on the first item, resolution number 554.
Let me dispose first of 569.
Please.
Taking into account all the comments of the resource persons, the Secretary is hereby directed to prepare the corresponding committee report and resolution on Senate Resolution number 569, authored by Senator Pimentel. So ordered. Senator Recto?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry for being late. There was resolution number 554. I think that was first on the agenda with regard to alleged clerical errors in the preparation and issuance of special allotment release orders. Some clarification on this.
Please proceed.
Yes. Who is the person responsible?
Can you repeat what was earlier stated either by Director Orta? Please, ma'am.
The clerical error pertains to the preparation of the report on the VILP releases.
What is the VILP?
Various infrastructure and local projects.
Okay.
The 3 billion pertains to preventive maintenance and not the PDAF for Congressman Zamora.
Mm-hmm.
When we prepared the report, sir, the SARO number that pertains to preventive maintenance, the name of Congressman Zamora was placed instead of the preventive maintenance program.
How could that happen?
It's really well, they just got they didn't get the. It's really an error on the part of the one who prepared the report.
Yeah, but I
Magkasunod yun, sir, kasi.
suppose every one of you read it, di ba? How could there be a single entry, 3 billion attributable to him? Nabasa naman yung palagay ko yung report ninyo or this, di ba?
Oo.
Hindi?
Sir,
Hindi na napansin?
sir, kasi nung prepare when COA was asking for a report, no, so they did it very, very fast. I think there was, siguro, na-overlook lang, sir, yon talaga.
Okay.
It's
Now,
an
had you had an exit conference, makikita yon.
Sir, sinubmit naman namin, tapos yun nga, yun ang ginamit nila.
Correct. Bago nila gamitin, kung nagkaroon kayo ng exit conference, makikita yon.
Pwede, sir.
Na may mali,
Yes.
di ba?
Yes, sir.
That's why you have the exit conference as well. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Hindi mangyayari yon.
Yes, sir.
Di ba? Okay. One other question lang. I don't know, Mr. Chairman, if it's related to this, but it's still about SAROs.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Maraming bali-balita in the past na maraming fake SAROs. Could you shed light? This is the only opportunity I can get to ask this question during this deliberation. No? So ano naman yung mga Could you comment on those, yung mga fake SARO releases and so on and so forth?
Sir, tinatawag lang nilang fake SARO, but actually, nailalabas lang sa DBM prior to the official release of the SARO.
So it is a real SARO.
Oo, nare-reproduce nila. Tapos,
So in effect, may empleyado ng DBM,
probably.
nailalabas sa opisina ninyo, hindi empleyado ng DBM.
Even before the official release.
Correct? So, bakit linalabas? Anong dahilan?
Meron silang.
Dinalako, parang ganon. Am I correct?
Probably, sir.
Probably. Okay. Then, there was an article last year. I just don't have it with me right now. Just to clear the air, para we put on record already the response anyway of DBM, no? I think there are many professional people in DBM. I've known many of you for a long period of time, and I can safely say that there are many good professional people in the DBM.
Thank you, sir.
It also came to my attention last year. No, there was an article I read. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to clarify also. No, na merong mga shredding of SAROs na nangyari daw in DBM. Is there any truth to any of this?
Sir, no.
There is none.
Yes, sir.
None whatsoever. Shredding of SAROs.
Not that I know of, sir.
Not that you know. Anyone from DBM familiar with any of this?
No, sir. That's not
So it never happened.
it never
Walang mga
happened.
ganon.
That's not a practice in the DBM.
It is not a practice.
In fact, sir, if we are to cancel a SARO, we just cross it out. We don't shred any
So all the
SARO.
documents should be there.
Yes, sir. For as long as it has, we keep it in our bodega and then
Okay.
the records office. But of course, sir, we are only limited to a certain year for the retention period under the National Archives.
Correct. Ilan taon yun?
3 years po, sir, for the SARO.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Under
So you
the-
can only keep it for 3 years?
Sir, we are the retention period for the SARO under the law is 3 years. However, we keep naman, sir, some older than 3 years nung SARO. However, sir, because of the Ondoy and other calamities, meron po talagang mga na report na kami sa National Archive, including flooding, na hindi na nasira na ho yung ibang mga SARO. So in older years, selective po yung mga SARO natira. Yung pong natira after those
Okay. When you
incidents.
say selective, because of the bagyo lang?
Because of the incidents lang po.
Not because of a natural disaster
sir.
of some sort. Not you chose na ito
No, sir.
tatago namin, ito hindi.
No, sir.
Wala namang ganon. Okay, so mahusay naman yung filing system ninyo.
Well, we are in the process of improving it, sir, because over the years po, then kasi sir, naglipat ng office, may mga, so we are still in the process of improving the system, especially
Okay.
with, we just recently had the document management system in the DBM.
I would assume that there are two types, no? One is in the computer files. You would have SAROs in a computer file, I suppose, no?
Sir, for those years na wala pang e-budget, manual lang po lahat.
Correct. But today,
Today po nasa e-budget system na po
correct.
yung lahat ng
So
SARO.
you would have an electronic file and a manual file.
The manual, yes sir, that would be correct.
You cannot just have the electronic because you cannot use that for evidence. Saka mas madali mawala rin yun di ba?
I would suppose, sir, yes.
No? So you would have two files right now, one in electronic and one in manual.
Manual, yes sir.
A hard and a soft copy, di ba?
Yes sir.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, ma'am. Proceeding now to the other items in the agenda. Yes, ma'am. You're excused, as well as Director Cañeda and Yusek Borna. Thank you for coming. Good morning. Excuse ka na rin? Hindi ka pa excuse ta?
Sabi mo, sususpend mo na.
Proceeding now, Senate Resolution number 287 filed by Senator Ejercito on the DAP. Ma'am, we would like to place on record the request of DBM that we received insofar as the DAP hearings are concerned to await, hopefully, coming out soon decision of the Supreme Court on the DAP. Director Ruiz, what's your take on this? Approximately, when do you expect the decision to come out?
Well, we've heard, Your Honor, that it will come out soon, same as what the Supreme Court did with the PDAF. So hopefully within, well, in the next few weeks, I would suppose, or months.
We would like to place on record that we are in receipt of your legal memorandum and other papers submitted, memoranda rather, and other papers submitted to the Supreme Court. But the reason why we called for this hearing, as an initial hearing, can we get from you, regardless of the outcome of the Supreme Court decision, the actual inventory of DAP disbursements? Let me tell you where I'm coming from. Yung SARO ba may nakalagay na DAP doon o wala?
Your Honor, since DAP is not a fund, it's only a program, the funding source will only be the one reflected in the SARO.
So yung item sa budget ang nandun?
Yes.
Walang nakalagay na DAP in any SARO?
I have not seen all the SARO, Your Honor, but as a matter of practice, given the rules on how you input data on the SARO, it would not be required, but it would be possible if it would be possible.
Director Ruta, may mga DAP ba sa SARO that you're aware of in your 30 years in the DBM?
Sir, wala ako nakita.
Na DAP?
Yes, sir.
So how would you know that it was through the DAP, the acceleration program?
Sir, it would be upon the approval of the request. So there may be a request, sir, and then there would be approval from the Office of the Secretary whether to include it under the program. That would be how it would be identified as a DAP program.
So regardless of the items in the budget, all utilizations of savings by is DAP?
No, Your Honor. Only those that are fast and quick disbursing programs and projects are included under the DAP.
So you utilize savings for other purposes, not necessarily under DAP?
It's possible.
No. Do you, don't you?
Yes. Yes, sir.
My understanding of DAP was that it's a program on the utilization of savings, so it's not.
No.
You use savings for other purposes, not under DAP.
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, sir, there are various funding sources for the DAP. Only one of them is savings. So DAP is not a mechanism to use savings.
Ano pa yung iba?
There's the unprogrammed fund, Your Honor. And then, and savings, Your Honor.
So dalawa lang,
Yes, sir.
programmed and unprogrammed and savings.
Yes, sir.
So, can you give us, is there such a list in existence? All the fund releases under DAP?
Yes, sir. We will prepare, Your Honor, coming based on the approval of the President, all those that were included under
But
the
how will we know if it's DAP or not, if the SARO will not reflect it? You'll show us the SARO, presumably, di ba?
Yes, sir, we will. Some of the, I was informed, Your Honor, that some of the SARO may include under the notes, under the Disbursement Acceleration Program, but only under the notes.
What do you mean under the notes?
There's a portion, sir, below the SARO where there are notes for additional remarks, I would suppose.
So, in all DAP releases, nakalagay yun sa notes?
No, sir.
So again, I mean, how would we know that indeed it is DAP or not DAP? It's easy for you to say it's not DAP. What's the control mechanism that will make it DAP? There must be a document attached to a SARO that will say it's DAP.
We have a consolidation, sir, of the list approved by the President.
So the President approves this?
Yes, because, sir, it's use of savings. So together with the approval, sir, for those funded under savings,
It goes to the office of the
it
President.
goes to the President for the OP approval as
Pag
required.
unprogram,
Pag unprogrammed, sir, you would have the certification,
From the National Treasurer?
yes, sir, of the funding source which are not included under the BSF.
But not all utilizations and charges against the unprogrammed is DAP.
No,
Lahat
sir.
ba ng ginalaw niyo mula sa unprogrammed, DAP?
Let me check, sir. Meron pa bang unprogrammed? Not all, sir, that because of there are the regular unprogrammed like the excess income in excess of those included in the BSF, the agencies like NBI, and there's the general fund adjustment.
So all availments of unprogrammed with National Treasurer certification would be under DAP?
No, sir.
Hindi pa rin?
Hindi, sir. Let me clarify, sir. Yun pong mga ginamit namin under the program, hindi po lahat yun DAP. Meron lang pong isa na DAP, yun pong sa dividends, excess dividends po na binigay ng bangko. ng mga GOCCs. But some of the releases under the program, yun po yung mga regular na excess income tsaka general fund
How do you know
adjustment.
that it's DAP? Who says so that it's DAP if it's from the unprogrammed? The secretary?
Sir, it comes from the approval of the President when it comes to...
So not only savings, even utilization of the unprogrammed fund for DAP still goes to the president?
Yes, sir.
Most or
Yes, sir.
all?
Yes, sir, because the DAP is a program of the Aquino administration to quickly disperse for slow-moving
So
projects.
you mean to say there's actually a document signed by the president that enumerates all of the availments of DAP from savings and from the unprogrammed fund?
Yes, Your Honor, and we submitted that before the Supreme Court.
You submitted that before the Supreme Court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you submit that to us too?
We will...
Next
Before, Your Honor.
question, will it tell us where the savings came from or was generated?
Which one, sir?
The document you'll give us, the list.
We will have to prepare, sir, the summary for that.
No, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is, ma-identify niyo ba savings to from DPWH from a particular project or sets of projects na ginawa naming DAP to spend for another item?
Based on our SARO releases, Your Honor, hindi po ang nakalagay lang po doon yung funding source, meaning the RA or the fund itself.
Ito yung GAA.
Yes, sir. So, ang GAA lang po yun. But we can identify, Your Honor, because for the use of savings, there is no one-to-one correspondence with respect to the use of savings. So, hindi po kami kumukuha from a PAP to augment another PAP. Ang practice po namin is that yung pong overall savings, kapag po merong savings, we will have to first ask for approval from the President. And therefore, kung meron pong kailangang i-augment na PAP, yun po yung ginagamit namin. So, wala program, project, or activity na authorized sa GAA. So, wala po tayong one-to-one correspondence when it comes to use of savings.
So let's say ang DPWH nagbid out ng X number of projects, dahil mababa yung bid amount, may savings sila, let's say amounting to 2.1 billion. Won't they give a list to you in the amount of 2.1 billion equivalent to their savings?
Hindi po, Your Honor, because again po, the process is we have to ask for approval first from the President to use the savings. Pag meron na pong approval, doon lang po namin pupunan yung mga deficiencies na sinabmit po sa amin.
So sabi ng DPWH, may 2.1 billion kaming savings.
Yes, sir.
DPWH won't inform you about their savings. Correct me if I'm wrong. They will inform you about their savings together with the list already, which will now be submitted to the Office of the President for approval. Diba?
No, sir. The process really is, well, at least, sir, under the DAP, the process is we inform the agencies of their slow-moving projects and then ask them to facilitate the release, the expenditure of those programs, activities, and projects. If hindi po talaga kakayanin, we give them account management. Meron po kaming account management team to help them with the process of spending the funds. Pag hindi po talaga, we will then ask them kung hindi na talaga kayang ma-implement. Yun po, lahat po ng list na isasubmit nila sa amin, yun po yung hinihingan namin ng approval ni Presidente para po magamit sa DAP.
Submit to us na muna yung list so we can ask for more documents if at all. Just the list first. One last point in this, and I hope I'm not affecting your chances in the case. Take the example of MPBF. Except for constitutional bodies, all the savings of the various agencies from unfilled positions are there. Una muna, yung unfilled positions nandun.
Yes, sir.
There will always be savings generated from that. Always. In fact, in the last budget deliberations, we got a whole chunk of money from MPBF to fund the rehab fund in Tacloban and affected areas in Region 8 of Typhoon Yolanda. Can you unbundle that? Can you actually identify yung pinagkukunan?
What do you mean, sir, the details for the MPBF?
Yes.
Sir, in the details of the MPBF is in the GAA. If
I know.
Yes, sir. So if you notice, sir, there will already be an identification of the agencies and the amount. And some of the specific allocations, like for instance, there's an amount for the SEC, for the SEC compensation.
Yes.
So those are all indicated.
So
sir.
when you utilize savings from MPBF, you go further and identify the specific item in the agency where you got the savings from.
Well, yes, technically, sir, because for the MPBF, sir, as you mentioned, are unfilled positions. So as early as January 1, if there's no taker for a position, there's already effectively saving. So we just get the records as to ano yung mga ahensya at saka ano po yung mga equivalent amount ng position na hindi po na-fill from a certain period. So yun po yung aming source for the savings ng MPBF.
One last point. If it's savings generated from unfilled positions, under DAP, you can use it to fund CO?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes,
so
sir.
it doesn't matter whether it's PS, MOE, or CO. If it's savings, you can
Yes, sir.
jumble it all up and use it for any other purpose?
Sir, under the general provisions of the GAA, once the savings is declared, it may augment any program, project, or activity. So we follow that provision.
And that's what you follow in the DAP.
Yes, sir, with respect to those charged from savings.
Since you submitted it to the Supreme Court already, I guess it's a prepared document. When can you submit it to us?
We will compile, sir, specifically your request for us to submit a list of the projects, and then would you like us, sir, to submit as well a copy of the...
What you submitted to the court?
Okay, sir.
Please. Senator Recto?
Could you also provide us a sample of a SARO with notes on DAP?
We will, just one, sir.
Hey,
We
it
will-
could be as many as possible.
Okay, we will
Thank
look
you.
for...
Okay.
Nawala. Just to see the variations.
Sige po, sir.
Just to see the variations. So again, to clarify, the controlling point is the president has to sign off to DAP, to a release under DAP.
Yes, sir.
If he does not sign off of it, it's not DAP,
Yes, sir.
whether savings or unprogrammed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Hearing is hereby reset. Hopefully, by the time we reset it, the Supreme Court would have come up with a decision, and we have a more stable leg to stand on insofar as further deliberations on this measure is concerned. Bahala ka. Sige. Thank you. Before we dispose of the other items for administrative purpose, let's jump to Senate Bill number 467 on GSIS coverage of barangay officials. Honestly, I don't know where to start. First, with Director Trovella. Sir, we acknowledge receipt of your letter, which basically said that you do not know exact amounts of counterparts and contributions should barangay officials become members of the GSIS.
Because
You gave us an approximation.
we gave you an approximation because to generate the data from 42,028 barangays would entail considerable time. So,
Sir, nobody knows that. I mean, in this day and age of computers and all, no single government agency,
Can.
much less the DLG, has a repository
yes, sir.
of how much honoraria is being received by each and every barangay official in each and every barangay of the country?
The department doesn't have that kind of data, but we can generate that data. We can generate that data from our field officers. But what we did po ay nagkaroon po kami ng quick survey. In-approximate po namin yung actual honorarium na nare-receive ng barangay officials. Kasi based dun sa IRA ng barangay, total may data naman po kami ng internal revenue allotment. So base po dun sa, kasi on the average naman po, hindi naman naglalayo yung data ng actual honorarium nila. Depende naman sa kanilang
Except for
income.
barangays that have substantial income, like those in business districts.
Opo, ay konti lang naman po yun, yung mga yun na largely po kasi sila IRA dependent. Ang 42,028 barangays po ay largely IRA dependent, meaning ang kokonti lang po yung na-generate nila locally aside from
So your computation is based on ERA, and you're talking of
Yes, sir.
approximately 1.6, tama?
Opo, base po sa aming approximation, 1.6
Billion.
billion po yung honorarium ng ating barangay officials from punong barangay with segments, ang barangay members, and then
Per year, per month?
total na po ito. Ano, monthly, teka. That's total po yan. That's the annual po yan. Punong barangay, sanggunang barangay members, treasurer and secretary lang po.
For 1 month or for 1 year?
1 year po yan, 1 year.
Are you sure?
Yes po.
Sigurado ho kayo? Ang nakalagay sa inyo, I'm talking about Annex A, ah?
Yes po.
Table 1. Times 12 nyo na ba yan? Monthly average honorarium.
Monthly average honorarium is, that's 1.653 billion. Oh yeah.
Utang na loob ko, hindi natin alam ang computation kung monthly o yearly. Malaki talaga problema natin, eh.
Yeah. It's monthly po siya, monthly.
Who prepared it, sir?
The National Barangay Operations Office po.
Headed by?
That's me, ma. Ako pong nag-head.
Hindi mo alam kung monthly o yearly to.
Sir, check ko pa lang po yung ano, nagleta. Check ko lang po yung table nila. Just to be sure. Pareho ba tayo?
Mahina ako sa math pero ang tingin ko rito, 4,313.28 plus 22,209 plus 6,000 blah, 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 times 17,873. If your total is 592, that's monthly.
Check na natin. Yes, sir. If that's...
So that's 1.6 billion a month.
Yes, sir. 43 plus 22 99.41 plus 6558. Pareho ba tayo? Magkalapit?
Attorney Bansalida, tama ba? Monthly yan?
873.
And the total for the annual?
Yeah, it's monthly, sir.
Sir,
sorry po, it's monthly. Yes, it's monthly.
Sir, ang laki ng pagkakaiba. Even in your letter, you said 1.6 billion is a far cry from 72 billion. As if you were talking of it on a yearly basis. 72 billion is already the total yearly allocation for PS, I presume, at 55%.
So 1. So it's 19 billion. It's supposed to be 19. I did not check.
Tama po?
Tama po. It's 1.6, sorry po, Your Honor. 1.6 billion, it's monthly, so multiply that by 12, it's 19.8 billion po.
Sir, kinakabahan ako sa inyo, Hindi lang sa table nyo, pati sa letter na pinadala nyo sa amin,
Yes,
you
sir.
simply used as basis 1.6 out of 72, as if it was the yearly thing. And you're talking of 17, 18 billion difference,
Yung pong 72.9 po, yung pong 72.9 billion po, yun po ay computation kung maximum po yung honorarium. Ibig sabihin po nun, kasi po yung ating barangay officials, hanggang salary grade 14 and salary grade 10 po yung honorarium nila. Kung i-compute po natin yung kanilang honorarium, ipo-project kung maximum po ang kanilang tatanggapin, na depende naman po yun sa kanilang income, ang total po natin makukuha ay 72.9 kung po yung maximum po yun. So ito pong isa na 19.8, ito po yung, kasi on the average po kasi hindi naman nila kasi may PS cap po kasi.
Of 55%, di ba?
Opo, may PS cap. So hindi lahat po ng barangay ay nakaka-afford na makapagbigay ng maximum honorarium. So dito po yung kaya between 19.8 po at saka 72, yun po ang diferensya nila.
Total ERA for barangay is how much? Barangays.
60.
How much, ma'am?
Current year, it's already amounts to around 60 billion for the barangays.
60 billion.
Yes, sir.
60 billion.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, straight computation ko
Yes po.
Kapitan, kagawad, treasurer, except for tanods and health workers. Di ba?
Okay, sir.
Yun yung PS ng barangay.
Opo,
Di
sir.
ba? I mean, do we understand it? So if 19 billion is the total, that's 1/3. No, no, ERA for barangays is 60 billion roughly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 55% of that would be above 30.
30. Yes, sir.
Above 30. So when you speak of barangay officials, excluding tanods and health workers, yun yung 19. The remaining balance is for tanods, health workers,
Yes.
and other honoraria they give to whomsoever. Right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Now, why is it that we don't have data on 1,384 barangays in 24 cities and 24 municipalities? Sir.
Asa po yun? Yung pong, wala po tayong income classification po doon kasi yung 1,384 po na wala po tayong information on income classification.
Why? Why, sir? Again, at this day and age, why?
Kasi ano bang hindi lang po namin yung amin pong nasa aming data, hindi lang po na-complete na wala pong, ibig sabihin, wala po kami ditong data talaga ng 1384.
But you said you computed it based on ERA. Don't tell me you don't know how much the ERA of these barangays are.
Meron po. Alam po namin yung mga ERA, alam po namin yung ERA. Kaya nga po ang ginamit namin computation ay yung ERA lang, hindi yung total income.
So, ba't may kulang na data? Kung ERA ang ginamit nyo at kompleto ang ERA. Income classification of what ang sinasabi nyo? What do you mean income classification?
Ang base po kasi sa local budget circular na 99, ang honorarium ng barangay officials ay depende dun sa income class ng LGU. Nagbabari po yan depende sa income class. Like halimbawa, yun nandito po sa table number 3, example, sa 6th class municipality, for punong barangay po, salary grade 14, ang maximum lang po niya makukuhang honorarium is 17,283.
Is this per month?
Opo, per month po yun. And then pag sangguniang barangay po is 12,941. Pag compared po yan sa first class, na barangay na nasa first class na, municipality, 23,000 po ang matatanggap niya. And then yung 12,000 naman po for sangguniang barangay members.
But you said a while ago, sir, mostly cannot comply because of the cap.
Opo.
Di ba?
Opo. Talaga pong hindi nila nakakaya kasi meron pong cap na 55%, yung PS cap limitation. Kaya yung hindi po yung maximum po, hindi po lahat ng barangay nakakapagbigay ng maximum equivalent to salary grade 14 and salary grade 10.
So going to the DLG's position on this, are you in favor of this bill?
Opo. We are in favor of the bill naman po talaga. Kasi ano po ito eh.
Yes, you are.
Yes po.
Attorney Bensalada, ma'am, do you have enough data that you can work with on this?
Actually, sir, we basically made assumptions based on the local budget circulars that were provided to us by the NBOO. But with the data that they have now, we can recompute.
But right now, anong computation niyo?
Well, we used the maximum. So we used the salary grades 14 and 10 of the SSL as
But that's
the base.
too much.
Well, yes, that's a maximum, sir. And we
At
also,
least you know the maximum. Sige.
yeah, we also included the health workers and the barangay tanod. So that's a huge amount.
Do you have data how many they are? Or you made assumptions?
We made assumptions, sir. So barangay tanod 10 and for health worker 1. And based on that, if we compute the total annual
Ma'am, may
salary...
daycare worker pa.
Opo.
May barangay nutrition scholar pa yung iba. But anyway, those are your assumptions. Okay.
Yes, sir. Based on this, the total annual salary, this is the maximum, is 194.3 billion. And if we compute the GSIS share, which would be shouldered by the government, 12%, yes, sir. The 12% would be 23.3 billion. That's to be shouldered by the government. And then the 9%, the personal share of the barangay officials would amount to 17.4 billion.
Hindi. Ano naman yan eh? You're basing it on salary grade
Yes, apo.
14.
And 10. Yes.
Right now, give me a rough figure. Yung tinatanggap ng barangay officials is about half of this?
Opo. On the average po, ang punong barangay, mga, on the average po,
4,000 ka mo?
5,000. 4 to 5,000.
4 to 5,000 on the average. So about...
Ganun po. Nagre-range po yun from 4 to 5,000.
Ma'am, salary grade 14, ano yung assumption nyo ng barangay captain? Magkano yung sweldo? Salary grade 14 for what class?
We did not classify by class.
So what amount did you use? 23?
SG14 po, which is 23,044.
So divided by 4 ako. Divided by 5, roughly.
Yeah,
Diba?
5,000.
Kung 5,000 ang average, divided by 4. So we're talking about 5 billion as employer share. Divided by 4, you're talking about 4 billion as employee share.
Yeah.
DBM, at 5 kaya? Hindi naman tayo nag-abide usually sa GSIS, di ba?
Yes, sir. Sir, ang tingin po namin dito is that it has serious fiscal consequences. Not only for the, because it will affect also the general public servants. Because if you consider the honorarium as basis for the computation of the retirement benefits, there might be a clamor later on for other public servants to do the same for them.
Like who?
The other, the rest of the bureaucracy.
Like who? Who doesn't have it yet?
In our case, our GSIS contributions are based purely on basic salaries. But in the case of
But if we change it, it's now called honorarium. You're saying if you apply it by analogy to other officials and employees, na pati yung honorarium nila gagamitin sa computation. Pero hindi. I was about to ask that question actually. Do we need to change the terminology and call whatever it is they're receiving as salary in order to have an actual basis and not affect the other members of the bureaucracy? Director Delantao, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Well, first and foremost, you were right, sir. In the local code, it really mentions there that they are not the salaried type, but they are received the honoraria.
Yes.
Now, when 1144 or 46 was passed, which enhanced the government insurance to include the proposed elected and appointive, and at the same time, in Senate Resolution 467, it somehow provided for a change in the definition of compensation, sir. On our part, sir, we just feel that maybe there's a really need to study further because that would somehow change the composition of what we term, as you said, Honorable Chair, compensation.
Yes,
which
we would
then
have to redefine.
excludes honoraria, excludes allowances.
No, we
Yes,
will simply...
but then,
What if we simply include in the proposed bill an amendment to the provision of the local government code saying that whatever it is they're receiving is not honoraria but a salary or compensation income?
Sir, if we may, just, well, sir, yes, that is, with due respect to the august body, sir, only, sir, we were just thinking that in the earlier hearings we had over the years, wherein we were telling also the need for GSIS to be involved and come in and prepare maybe a separate package that may be really attuned to the
Actually,
needs
madam,
of the
I
barangays.
agree with you, ma'am. Maraming
Yes,
problema.
sir.
I'll give you an example. A barangay official is elected for 3 years. He can serve a maximum of 9 years. Ilang taong contribution sa GSIS bago ka magkaroon ng benefits?
15 years, minimum 15 years.
Paano yun? So if he's not re-elected again, or is appointed as barangay secretary or barangay treasurer,
continue.
or becomes a tanod?
Pwede po, basta may appointment, it can be continued. So from elective, you have 9 years, and
No,
then you
but
have...
what if they're not appointed? So what will happen to his 9-year contribution?
He will be entitled to separation benefits, but not pension, because we need minimum...
Not pension?
Yes, Your Honor. Not pension.
Unless nga he's appointed, or if he wins again, he can continue the service. Di ba?
Honor, yes.
Hindi ka start from scratch. So if
Yes.
I serve for 3 consecutive terms,
You have 9.
I have 9, I wait for 3 years, and then I run again, that'll be my 10th, 11th, 12th.
Yes.
Tama yan?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, you just continue. You tuck it in until you reach 15 years.
Na if you're a barangay tanod, kung gusto mo isama yung barangay
Yes.
tanod, pinagtripan ka, inalis ka dahil bumoto yung pinsan mo o yung kapitbahay ng kapatid ng pinsan ng asawa mo sa kalaban, tinanggal ka, you can continue. There is no option like SSS na mag-voluntary, di ba?
No option for voluntary.
No option, right? So either bumalik siya o wala na.
Yes.
Yung matatanggap niyang separation benefit, how much is it? Is it equivalent to the contribution?
I'm not familiar as to the computation, but I can ask.
Will he get what he contributed? No.
It's a cash payment. It's equivalent to the average monthly compensation times multiplied by the years of service. So if it's 5 years, you get the average monthly compensation.
5 months.
Times 5 years.
So you get 5 months?
5 months, yeah. Paano
Paano kung 3 years ka lang, tapos natalo ka na? No, may minimum ba yun? Wala. Yung separation.
Your Honor. At least 3 years of service.
So pasok siya doon?
Apo.
At least 3 years, pasok siya doon?
Minimum, yes.
So kung 3 years separation, he or she will get 3 months pay by way of separation pay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, if the contribution is 9%, edi halos nabawi mo yung pera.
Yes.
Ba? 9 times 12 is 90, 108.
Your Honor, the personal share is 9%. The government
Precisely,
share...
precisely. I'm talking about of the employee.
Yeah.
So mababalik kung ano yung kinontribute niya roughly.
Roughly, sir.
Kasi diba 3 years ka na-contribute, minimum on 3 years, and you get 1 month for every year of service. Kung roughly 9%, kaya mo ng 10% ka ng salary niya, diba? Roughly babalik.
Yes.
Sinong lamang, sinong lugi? Lamang ang GSIS. Tama? Nasa dulo naman kayo.
Well, yeah, we have to provide for the contingencies after for all those who qualify for the 15 years. So it really becomes part of the pool.
Now, if you want to
Social
design a
insurance
special program for barangay officials that will cater and suit to their current and unique situation, can you do that without necessarily amending your charter? You can come up with a program, right?
We can come up with a program, Your Honor. The only emphasis would be, so as we will not touch the GSIS law, it would be a separate fund. It will not form part of the social insurance
So,
fund.
simula na naman tayo.
Yes, Your Honor. That's the easiest way of dealing with the barangay. Medyo peculiar po kasi yung
Parang yung balak
circumstances
natin gawin noon sa AFP, simula tayo ng hiwalay.
nila. Opo.
Or sa PNP din, kung sakasakali, simula ng hiwalay.
Separate fund, yes, Your Honor.
Para hindi madama yung iba.
The social insurance fund which we manage.
So, you can do
for
it without a need for a law.
There's a need for law. It's a retirement.
You need a law.
We need a law.
So you need this to do it.
If
But
need
my
be, sir.
understanding of the bill is it's limited to barangay officials.
So
To the
it won't-
exclusion of tanods and health workers, nutrition scholars, daycare workers. That's my understanding. Tama ba? Can you give us computation for both? For both? Attorney Zuniga, you're with the league. Have you asked the barangay officials if it's okay to reduce their honoraria by 9% per month?
Well, sir, we only have anecdotal evidence. Same with the problem of NBOO.
So ano, okay lang sa kanila?
As of now, they're already complaining about the amount of honoraria
Ba't natin
they're getting.
pinag-uusapan ito?
The short answer is, sana hindi na po bawasan.
Hindi pwedeng walang counterpart eh.
Opo.
I mean,
I understand.
no, you understand that, but my question is, do they know and understand that?
Yes.
Kasi we might be passing a law that in the end, we will hear endless complaints from barangay officials na bakit kinaltasan pa ng 10% yung napakaliit nilang tinatanggap kada buwan. I'd hate to hear that from them. Di ba? I mean, we're trying to do this, we're trying to pass it on. At the end of the day, reklamo din pala. I mean, unless they understand it. Is this bill endorsed by the League?
Well, sir,
It is, right? We got a letter saying that you're supporting it.
Yes, sir. We submitted our position paper last month. But we are in support of the bill because we believe that providing GSIS benefits would really help professionalize the ranks of barangay officials.
I agree, but have you impressed upon them that they will suffer a reduction of 10% from whatever it is they're receiving right now?
Yes, sir. But it's a trade-off po.
We know that.
We see.
But do they know that? And when you endorse the measure in behalf of the Liga, alam ba nila yun? For example, in our district, whenever I tell them, GSIS, maganda yan, ganyan-ganyan, may counterpart kayo, nagbabago, More than a majority nagbabago.
Opo.
Have you discussed this in any of your conventions and explaining the effect na 9% share nyo, 12% ang gobyerno, ito yung... Have you discussed that? No.
Not yet, sir, but we're currently making the rounds of all of the regional conventions, and then we can get the sentiments of the barangay captains and the
Can you take this
stakeholders.
up with them?
We will, sir.
Please, can you take this up with them? And also potentially inclusion, kasi yung tanod, magkano na lang ang tinatanggap nung kada buwan?
Mga 900.
About 1,000 a month. Tatanggalan mo pa ng
even
100? No, I mean, theoretically, they might not agree to that anymore. And if we call it salary, can someone look into it too? Either, I'm talking to the lawyers, Attorney Bensalida, Director Ruiz. Can we actually call something a salary even if it is below the salary grades of government? I mean, legally, legally.
Sir, I think the reason why they're specifically mentioned in the code as non-salaried because the funding for that is not definite and fixed. Salaries should definitely be fixed every month. And also the reason why they're called honorarium or honoraria is because they don't have right to it. There's no principle of non-diminution, unlike in the case of salary for the other government officials. So our concern would be if we're going to call it salary, therefore we should also make sure that it will be fully provided.
By analogy, are mayors GSIS members? What's the difference? They're elected 3 years pa rin.
It's provided for by DBM, by the IR.
No.
They're salaried.
They have
They're
salaries.
salaried officials under the local government code as compared to the barangay officials. That's the difference.
But technically, can we call it salary without it complying or falling under any of the salary grades?
If you ask us, sir, since we provide the standards, we cannot adopt.
What's the lowest salary grade? Ano ba, 1?
SG1 is
Is it
around 9,000.
9 gross?
Yes, around
9 gross.
Meron pang pera yan.
Gross naman sinabi niyo, gross na salary. Gross basic salary yun, sir.
Gross basic salary.
Yes. We have the pera to add to that.
And
2,000.
Director, it's about 5,000, right, on average?
On the average po, yeah.
You're talking barangay captain,
Yes po.
Not even kagawad or tanod or anything. Ma'am, let's do it this way. GSIS, can you give me a program specifically suited for barangay officials? Pakihiwala yung officials dun sa and all other barangay employees. Attorney Zuniga, can you give us your survey, as scientific as you can get, on their opinion with respect to this, and kindly explain to them, I'm not even the author of the bill, kindly explain to them kung gusto ba nilang ganito o hindi, kung okay lang sa kanila o hindi. they can clamor for government to pay for everything. I don't know. But that won't happen. So at least we get roughly empirical data on the opinion or mindset or preference of barangay officials on this matter. Isama nyo na rin yung barangay employees, although the bill speaks only of officials. On the part of DBM, kindly work with GSIS and tell us kung may pagkukunan to. Total naman, delayed tayo palagi ng payments sa GSIS, di ba? Updated kami?
Most agencies are now updated in
Really?
payments to GSIS.
Pwede naman siguro kami mahuli dyan, bago lang yan eh.
It's a penalty.
And one last point before I call it a day on this issue. Di ba may programa na dati o may batas na dati o resolution na sinama yung barangay? Ano nangyari yung barangay officials? How long did it last? Ano nangyari sa pondo? And can anyone avail of it?
Sir, that's the Barangay Official Insurance Fund. It was by virtue of a law, RA 6942, passed in 1990. They weren't made members of GSIS, but there is this separate fund for them being managed by GSIS. Under the law, well, the funding should come from the national government. GSIS ran it for a couple of years.
It's a retirement fund.
No, insurance lang po for accidents, contingencies. So
it's good for 1 year.
Yeah. They need to pay.
No,
yeah,
the law
yearly
is good for
premium.
1 year?
No, it should be. Yeah, it was envisioned to be a continuing fund, but it wasn't sustained because the national government, who was supposed to fund it, did not remit premiums. So eventually,
the premium was to be entirely paid by the national government.
Yes.
Walang counterpart yung barangay official.
Wala.
Officials and employees o officials lang? The law.
Officials po ang nakalagay, barangay officials insurance.
So you're talking barangay captain, kagawad, treasurer, secretary?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what happened to the fund?
Naubos po ang pera until such we were paying claims from this until such time na nag-deficit na po. We have the figures, we can give it to you.
No, but if it's a yearly thing, if it's an insurance and it's a yearly thing, pag hindi nagbayad next year, dahil hindi na covered. Diba?
Yeah, well, sir, the fund was set up to make it a continuing fund, so long as there are funds. So the yearly premium payment, quote-unquote, from the national government should have been coming in. But after a certain period, hindi
How
na
long
po.
did it last?
Wait lang po.
How much money was given to you by the national government by way of premium payments, and how long did the program last?
Okay. It started in... since it started in 1990, Your Honor, and in since 1995, wala na pong payments ang national government.
So 90 to 94 may bayad?
Yes, Your Honor. We suspended payment of benefits claims in October 2001 kasi, well, naubos na po at actually may utang na po from the other funds being managed from GSIS. So, nag-shell out na.
Hindi nagbabayad ng premium yung national government for 5 years, you still continued paying out claims?
Yeah, na-sustain po yan kasi
hanggang
meron
naubos?
naman. Yes, Your Honor.
How much is the yearly contribution?
Ito po yung amount, 247 for every po ng barangay and member of the SP.
Total lang?
I don't have the total, Your Honor.
$247, 10% of 4,000 is 400 divided by 2. One time, so you're talking about half, approximately. Mahirap yung math. Pakicomputer lang, ma'am, kung magkano yung total per year.
Actually po, well, we have a total receivable from DBM amounting to almost 1 billion already.
Magkano, ma'am?
We have a total 977 million receivable from DBM. That's as of December 31, 2013.
But that's covering how many years?
Yun na po yung total.
95 to 2013. Di ba? Doon tumigil magbayad eh. 1990 yung batas, tumigil magbayad ng 95, you continued it until 01.
Yes.
So if you're talking to me about as of December 2013 total premiums, so from 05, from 95 to 2013, the total is only $1 billion, less than $1 billion.
That included interest already, Your Honor.
May interest pa?
Siyempre, sir. may interest po yun. So, it
No,
reached-
including na.
Including na po.
So, ang
it's
liit
around
lang ng
400.
yearly premium.
It's around 400. I think the principal, if we deduct.
So, ang liit lang ng yearly premium na binabayaran ng gobyerno. How much is the benefit, out of curiosity? Death benefit is how much? May death ba o accident lang?
Anong benefits?
Insurance.
Sir, but it's somehow between 203 or 204. Dr. Trovella, it's through the ILG that is being released. The death and the accident
Yes.
claims.
Kasi nga po napatigil itong BOIF. So as a stopgap itong BOIF.
Bakit
so,
nga po?
Dahil nga po sa problema dun sa premium.
Hindi, kung may binibigay sa inyong pera, ba't hindi nalang bigay sa GSIS? Ma'am, di ba? And you're talking for measly amount, ha? Kung yung total na utang is 1 billion in the course of 20 years, 19 years actually, you're talking roughly 50 million a year in premium payments, ha? No, dahil ma'am, sisisihin lang nila kami daw ang nag-appropriate eh. Ma'am?
I think, sir, the benefit there was between 10 to 20, 24 barangay punong, and then a lower figure. But, sir, we do release it and provide it under the regular budget of the ALGU.
But based on your knowledge, ma'am, ba't natin binibigay sa DILG, ba't hindi na lang sa GSIS? Eh, may batas yun. May batas na dapat.
Sir, sorry po. At that time, sir, we do recall that there was also a law passed which directed DBM to release it to the ILG at that time.
Dr. Tavella?
It's an executive order po. It's an executive order po ang naging
By
batayan.
GMA?
Opo, panahon po ni GMA.
But how can that supersede the law?
Yung pong dun sa death benefit na binibigay namin, ina-administer ng DILG.
Can you give us a history of that, ma'am? Dr. Delantar, kayo na lang po. From the law to the EO and how much it is right now? And can you give us a yearly computation of the premium as well as the corresponding benefits? Director Trovella, can you also give us the benefit that you're giving?
Opo.
Para ma-compare namin yung benefits being given ng GSIS at yung benefits being given under this program, under the EO. And on the part of Director Delantar, the contributions, yung binibigay natin sa DILG, and if you have the records, or Attorney Bensalida can give it to us, the yearly premiums. Compare lang namin, ma'am, para ano mas maganda. And some notes on the guidelines of the program. I'm sure you have a primer on that. On how to avail and how long the payout is given. On the part of the DILG, sir, sino magko-compute ba nito? GSIS o kayo? Kung gagawin natin talaga to. It's GSIS who will compute it. Ma'am, do you have the facility to find out how much?
Office, we can have them compute it, but we need the data.
But if they don't have the data, no, but if they don't have the actual data, survey lang to eh, how will we know?
Gusto niyo ba actual, sir?
No, I mean, Director naman, kung gagawin nila, hindi pwedeng approximate.
Yes. Yes. It's a program. We need the actual data. Actually, we need that.
Pwede ba mag-coordinate kami sa GSIS doon sa data requirements and then tingnan namin kung paano natin ma-generate?
Is there a way to get, they have money to generate the actual data?
Kaya po naman namin ma-generate pero medyo matatagalan.
Gaano katagal po? Baka by the time ma-generate nyo, bago na naman.
Mga 3 months. That is 2 to 3 months.
3 months. Give it to us, sir, so that we have an exact computation.
Pwede 3 months?
Again, pakihiwalay, sir, ha? Direct pakihiwalay, ha? Yung officials lang, tapos hiwalay naman yung employees lang, meaning tanod, etc., etc. And then let's have a third one, yung combined, so that we can see. On the part of the league, Attorney Zuniga, when can we have the results of your informal survey? And I hope it's a bit detailed, hindi yung generic lang. Let's say when you go to your regional assembly, you can actually mention in Region 1, this was the outcome. In Region 2, this was the outcome, so on and so forth. When can we have that, ma'am?
Well, sir, there are several conventions scheduled for the next month. So
Covered,
maybe
wala pa
why
bang
not?
nagko-convention before today?
Meron po, pero hindi pa po na-discuss in depth as you wish.
No. Ano-anong regions yung nag-convention na as of today?
Well, sir, yung...
Trilon?
Yes, sir.
Meaning yun ang pay from them, from their own pockets, 12% as the counterpart of government. Actually, what I basically want to know is, okay lang ba sa kanila o hindi? Yun lang.
Yes, sir, we will do that po.
Kasi baka, or they can actually suggest,
Yes.
pasok ito sa 55% cap, yung premium. So kung pasok siya, at the end of the day, may bawas pa rin eh. May bawas pa rin sa kanila eh, because of the cap. So kindly, 2-3 months, let's schedule the hearing sometime August to give the DLG time as well to generate the data. Yes, ma'am.
One additional.
Please, ma'am.
For this year, we have in the General Appropriations Act, 50 million, sir, for what we call under the ALGU, the Assistance to Local Government Units, the Barangay Officials Death Benefit Fund.
How much?
Sir, 50 million. And this
Roughly.
covers, sir, the Punong Barangay, the 7 Barangay Kagawad, the Sangguniang Kabataan President, and the Barangay Secretary and Treasurer. And this is administered by the DILG.
No, but that's
sir.
50 million compared to roughly 50 million to, including interest, including interest. So it's roughly the same eh. So what I want to compare now is the actual amounts and the benefits being offered under the GSIS program and the benefits and the coverage under the DILG program. So that in the 2015 budget, we can decide with sufficient knowledge and basis, alin ba yung mas magandang ituloy? Para mas klaro. Okay, let's schedule the hearing sometime in, what month is it now? June, July, end of August, early September. So ordered. For some administrative matters, further deliberation of Senate Bill number 467 is hereby deferred and reset to another date after 3 months. For some administrative matters, before I let you go, para may konting audience po kami, Senate Resolution number 635, authored by Senator Binay, is hereby requested to be referred back to the Committee on Rules so that it can be referred to the appropriate committee, namely the Civil Service, Reorganization and Civil Service, ano ba? Civil Service and Government Reorganization Committee. Senate Bill number 2130, filed by Senator Ejercito. This is an exact counterpart measure filed by Senator Recto and already approved by the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on Public Expenditure via JCOCPE Resolution number 2. The same is therefore, i-refer ko ba ito? I-archive ko na diretso. The same is therefore ordered to be sent to the archives. So ordered. Chair would also like to order that, ano yung kay Senator Miriam? That Senate Bill number 406 and Senate Bill number 1488, both authored by Senator Santiago, be consolidated, and given that the earlier bill was referred to TWG? Iba. Given that the earlier Senate bill was referred to a TWG, same order insofar as 1488. So ordered. Ma'am, thank you very much for your attendance. 2 minutes bago mag-lunch, kaya hindi kami magpapakain ng lunch. Sa muli, maraming salamat po. Paumanhin kung medyo natagalan tayo. And a pleasant morning to you all. Hearing is suspended.
I think if it is, I think maybe if you can define it as a continuation or a, well, you have it as expansion and extension.
There seems to be some good suggestions
No,
as well.
I can see what they're getting at. I
but,
actually do understand what they're getting at.
But there are other ways of simplifying. Maybe a last point, Mr. Chairman, is from at least from my end. Last point is there must be something also for the local government units. I don't think